Hello and welcome to episode 11. Is it now? We're on episode 11?
Yeah.
Third and Short podcast. Usual people involved for the first episode of this week. We've got the producer, Jamie C. I just made your name loads cooler. And co-host, Tommy H. I say below me, but I've no idea how it's going to come out on the
He's
recording.
below.
That sounds. And obviously me as well. Just before we do go into it, this week's episode is brought to you in association with silverfx.co.uk. Check that website out. We'll have more things to come soon from them, and all will be revealed in due course. It may be revealed before this episode's out. Who knows? So check out silverfx.co.uk, and you might see some things with our logo on. Anyway, so usual script, usual format. We're just going to go straight in and talk about last week's games. And then we'll talk about next week's fixtures, some bits and bobs. And then we've got another episode this week with another special guest. It is somebody we have mentioned on the podcast more than once. We may end up finding out his real name tonight. Or on the next episode, sorry. We may find it out tonight. Yeah, so I think we'll go straight in and talk about Jamie's result this week.
Well, I'm quite happy. Like I said, we didn't lose, so it's good after coming off of that Kansas game. So, we didn't lose. It was a bye week, so we didn't win either, but, it was fine. So, yeah, it was a nice week. I got to watch some football and relax, get prepared for the Vikings in the week after, which I'm sure we'll talk about later. So, good old bye week in week 11 or 12 or whatever it is now.
Deep into the
13. It's week 13. There you go. Bye week in week 13. Ready for the postseason.
You should pick, Jamie, who goes first out of me or Tom, because it's obviously going to go one way or the other, isn't it? You can have the negativity first or the positivity first.
There's a lot to say about the Raiders game, so I think we'll leave that one to last. So go on, Tom.
Well, as you can see, I'm still wearing the hoodie, and that must mean one thing. That must mean one thing. The Giants, the 4-7 Giants, went to the 8-3 Seattle Sounders. That's the football one. But the scumbag does own it, or part own it. But yeah, we went to Seahawks and got a victory with a backup quarterback, Colt McCoy. Unbelievable result.
Jones.
Unbelievable result against Seahawks. I think, like you mentioned it before, Jamie, I don't think any Giants fan was probably expecting a win. I'll happily say that we sat there and were comfortable we'd be competitive just because of our defense. But yeah, I didn't see us getting the win. I thought we'd need to score a lot more points than we did. And it's a possibility against the Seahawks because their defense isn't the best. But you do worry that, when and it's no slant on Colt, but the guy, I think, started something like 21 games his whole career or something like that. Won 9 of them, and hasn't started a game for like 3 years. So he's got to be rusty as anything. But yeah, every credit, he did what was needed to do. Our defense was just absolutely unbelievable. Just the best performance so far this season, and we're just continually getting better. Been watching tons and tons of videos on Twitter just about how well Patrick Graham schemed against Russ, and it was just brilliant to watch. And the offense did its job. Wayne Goldman, he had something like, I think it was 16 carries for 130 odd yards. Absolute beast. No touchdown, but did the job, got us to the end zone, and Alfred Morris slammed it home on one run and then got his first ever receiving touchdown, which is crazy to think how long he's been a running back in the NFL for. But yeah, unbelievable. I mean, absolutely over the moon. We're now 5-7, top of the NFC East still. I'm sure we'll touch on other results, but yeah, Washington probably had a better result than us on paper.
On paper, I mean, they were undefeated Steelers.
Yeah. And that's kept them there. That's kept the pressure on the Giants. But the NFC East heating up a bit. I think 2 teams have now beaten plus 500 teams, which was the first time this season. So, Yeah,
I just
bring
find
on.
it crazy. It was 5-0, wasn't it?
In the
At half
first
time.
half, yeah.
Like who safeties? I mean,
Yeah.
anybody that gets safeties nowadays don't deserve to win a game.
And it
So,
wasn't like the normal safety either. It was they
it should have
blocked.
been a touchdown, shouldn't it? Because like I said, they blocked the punt and then they got the ball and got it into the end
Yeah,
zone. Surely that's a touchdown, not a safety.
the problem
So
was his
they've been
hand
robbed.
was out.
Seahawks should have won.
Yeah, what they were saying was his left hand was out of bounds as he grounded the ball, so it wasn't a touchdown. Apparently, that's your safety.
Seahawks robbed. Would
Yeah,
have won that
so
game.
I don't really get how it works. I'm assuming that if they block a punt and it never gets touchdown in the end zone but goes out of play, it would still be a safety then. Don't know, one for us to look at.
I don't know, but if they catch it and run over, it's a touchdown. So why
Yeah,
not? Yeah, don't know.
it's
Robbed.
very weird. But yeah, I mean, we'll take that all day long.
Speaking of daylight robbery, Derek Carr. Here we go.
Someone looks really happy after the Raiders won.
Yeah, no. Disappointing performance. I predicted it last week that the Jets would win, and based on how the game panned out, they should have won. But it's, from my point of view, it's massively disappointing that Sam Darnold hasn't thrown a touchdown in 10 weeks, and he threw 2 in 2 drives against us. The first 2 drives of their, well, it might have been 2 out of the first 3, I can't remember. But
yeah.
Disappointing that we ended up almost getting into a shootout with the Jets. Disappointing that we should have lost the game. If anybody hasn't seen the highlights, if you've not watched any NFL or not been on Twitter at all since Sunday night, then you won't have seen it, I would imagine. But essentially, Raiders turned the ball over 4 points behind with about 1:40 to go. So all the Jets had to do was run the clock down, or make 1 first down and run the clock down. That's it. Use our 2 timeouts up. It's pretty simple to win a game from there. However, I was that convinced we lost the game, I quit the group chat. My group chat, I quit because I was that convinced we were losing. We've lost the game. I even put in the group chat, Jets win. I'm off laters. And then lo and behold, I was put back in the group chat about 3 minutes later. Raiders got the ball back deep inside our own half with 40 seconds to go or something like that. A couple of plays later, we've got 12 seconds, 13 seconds on the clock. We are round about the halfway line, I think just inside their half. And Derek Carr throws a 45-yard touchdown to Henry Ruggs with 4 seconds to go. Wins the game. Unbelievable scenes, really. If you're a neutral of the game, neutral of either of those 2 teams, it was pretty phenomenal to watch either way. Disgusting that the Jets gave up a win. Some people saying that they threw the game, but I think the fact they've sacked the defensive coordinator and not Adam Gase means that it wasn't thrown. And I think I put something in the group where that defensive coordinator has done it previously with a
arrogance.
team, and it came off. It worked. The play that it's too complex to go into for most of our listeners. I would have thought, perhaps doing a discredit to some people, but I mean the touchdown isn't getting the love it massively deserves, in my opinion. Derek Carr was blitzed. He was scrambling a little bit inside the pocket. He ran and jumped and threw the ball 50 yards. Ruggs did a little shimmy, little fake run, and basically sent the guy's hips west.
Yeah.
The cornerback that was covering all the safety, I can't remember, it was cornerback. And Ruggs' speed just went out, and the ball couldn't have landed any better in Ruggs' hands as he steps into the end zone. It was, the Raiders still had to execute that play perfectly, regardless of how shit the Jets were. I swore it's taken a few minutes. Disappointing performance. Amazed to get a win. Relieved to get a win, because I think I said if we lost to the Jets, I was done with NFL this season, and I would have. I'm that stubborn, as people who know me know. I would have
Even if you got to the Super Bowl, you wouldn't have watched it.
No, I think I said I'll watch the Super Bowl. I think I said so. I said to other people I'll watch the Super Bowl. I'll watch the rest of the season if we lost to the Jets. So yeah, we get a win. Shouldn't have got a win against the team. It would have been ironic that the Raiders were the only team to have beaten the Chiefs, and they would have been the only team to have lost to the Jets in the same season. That would have been ironic. But yeah, happy with a win, I suppose. Darren Waller, unreal. 200 yards for a tight end in a game.
2 TDs, was it?
Yeah, 2 touchdowns. He's only 17 yards off the all-time record for a tight end in a game. He now is a record holder for the most yard after catch for a tight end in a game. It's 107, I think he did, which for a tight end is just ridiculous. Travis who? So, yeah, we got a win. Shouldn't have done. Yeah. Still in the playoff hunt. We're 7-5 and we are not in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Whereas we're 7-5 and we are.
Whereas we're 5-7. But we are.
Look, yeah, I mean, division shit though, isn't it?
Yeah.
So. And you ain't going to win it. Washington are winning that division.
Yeah, well, Washington were 14-0 down, weren't they?
Yeah.
I watched it up until that and I thought, oh, here we go, Steelers win again. But
I think that's weeks and weeks of culmination in people seeing how the Steelers are actually playing. You know, they're throwing a lot of 5-yard curls over and over again and just progressing their way down. And you will get the odd bomb and stuff, but I mean, Washington pass rushing is supreme, and then it paid off. Well done. But I think we've said it quite a bit, haven't we? We've all been shocked that the Steelers are unbeaten. And a lot of pundits have been saying that it's false. You see the memes going around about who they've beat. I mean, don't get me wrong, they still beat them, but it was coming. It has shocked me that Washington were the ones to do it. But then when you watch it, you sort of see, well, I mean, that stop on that 4th and goal line with Chase Young just absolutely wraps. Is it Connor up or whatever? He just mullers him from the side and just, you're going nowhere, son. It's just unbelievable. But I mean, I want to touch on the Raiders game, to be fair. Like, I'm a bit conflicted. So I'll go into Darren Waller first. I've been seeing him get quite a bit of crap on Twitter recently, saying he's been overrated. And actually, when you just look at the tight end sort of performance at the moment on the season across anyone, yes, he's second, or I might even be, I think he's second behind Kelsey. They were saying his average stats were just sort of mediocre. When, I mean, I watch quite a few Raiders games because of you more than anything to become my second team, and I think he's fantastic. And I'm just glad that he's dropped a 200-yard game, which is silly.
He's not a wide receiver. Yeah,
for him, because you look at Evan Engram, and he is more a wide receiver than a tight end in regards to his athletic build and his matchups. Whereas Waller isn't, is he? He doesn't look like he's a unit. He looks like a real blocking tight end. He
entered the draft as a wide receiver.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
He's a monster. He's like a fridge.
Yeah. He's tall. He's fast. He's strong. He's used quite a lot in blocking as well for the pass protection. But they just couldn't cover him.
No,
Sunday.
It was brilliant. And I know it was the Jets, but still, like you say, you've got to execute and you still got to be there. And I rate him. I do rate him, and I think he will make Pro Bowl as well. Although I know they're not doing a Pro Bowl game, but they're doing Pro Bowl still, aren't they? I don't know what they're going to do. But then the other thing I'm conflicted about is
a signed Waller jersey from Sigs.
Is it up there? Yeah.
Last week, Wayne, if anyone's watching.
Yeah, I'm struggling with the Jets tanking business, right? So I've been flipping back and two as to whether any team in the world would tank because no one wants to lose. And then you look at that victory and you go, right, okay, they've sacked Greg Williams because he made the fuck up. But they are now, is it 12-0? They are now, 0-12. And they've not sacked Gase. They are tanking. And he's just been made to be the fall guy. It has been unlucky for the Jets that he called that play. If he'd have called another play that wasn't as blatantly obvious as it was, and I think like you said, he's actually not done that to tank. That's his arrogance. He's done that call many a times before and it's worked. But the Jets have been really unlucky that it hasn't worked. Well, they've not been unlucky. It's their own fault because it's a fucking awful play. But it's not worked, and now he's been cut for that because the Jets have no choice. I mean, the uproar. Even one of the Jets corners came out and said, "I can't believe that play's been called. It's going in our ears, and we're all going, really? But you've got to execute that play. You're being told what to do. The fact that players come out and said that, you're going, aren't you? Regardless, but that doesn't hide the fact that they're tanking for me, and the Jets will use that to their advantage now. That, well, look, we aren't tanking. We weren't happy that he tried to throw the game or he called that play. We've got rid of him. The guy's a fucking charlatan anyway, from what I'm reading. I mean, I don't have much. I just don't pay no attention to the Jets at all. They're an irrelevant football team. But they, I mean, he shouldn't be in a job from what I'm reading and just from that play alone, what I saw. So, yeah, I don't want it to be hidden, the fact that they're still absolutely tanking for Trevor, without a doubt. And I fucking hope it bites them in the arse massively. Because they've not got anyone to protect him, so what's the point in taking him?
No, I still stand by. I do think Darnold is good. I mean, he's not brilliant. Yeah. He's good. You know, it's a difficult one because I'm biased in the fact that, well, you know, give us credit. We still had to execute that play. It's still a great throw from Derek Carr. It was still a great run from us. It's still a great catch and this, that, and the other. And the O-line did its job when they're getting blitzed as well. Jalen Richard on that play, the running back, third down back that we have, ran across Derek Carr and took a block as well.
Yeah.
So we still had to do all that. But yeah, the Jets are shit.
Yeah, it's a flip of a coin, isn't it? We could be sat here, just me and Jamie talking, because the Jets won.
I'd just be blank faced. Yeah. Nothing would be up there. Well, there's something else will be up there.
Yeah. We could be, because like you say, you still had to execute. The Jets weren't going to take the ball and throw it to you just before the end zone, were they, and give it you. But
it was like 50% we won it, 50% they lost it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, they probably give you the advantage of where it's at, but like you say, that blitz. I laughed at Derek Carr. He did an interview, didn't he? And he said, when I saw the blitz, I was like, thank God. Which I find is absolutely just says it all. It's amazing, isn't it? As a quarterback, you see the blitz, you're like, yay!
Because at least I know I've got somebody probably open.
Yeah.
You don't see it on the camera, but I think Waller was open in the end zone as well.
Yeah, I'd heard that. It was one or the other. I think Mark said it. It was one or the other coming in. So I don't know. It was a great watch. And I was gutted because obviously the Giants were kicking off at 9:05, so I had the Raiders game on, and saw up until the Jets obviously got the ball back, and I was like, shit, the Jets have won. So like, sort of half laughing, half thinking, fuck, what does that mean for third and short? And then sort of turned it over to the Giants game, and then you got added back into the group, and I saw Jamie put like, wow, and it was going off, and I was like, someone tell me what's happened, like I've got the Giants game on, for God's sake. And then it was like, oh my God, how has that happened? So for a neutral, that was an unbelievable end to the game. But yeah, it's just mental.
Yeah,
mental.
Mad on. Yeah. I'll move on from it. We've got a really easy game against the 8-4 Colts this week. So again, without Abraham or
bet you smash him.
Well, we're at home, so do you know what? One of their offensive tackles is out. I can't remember his name, but it's Philip Rivers. We've had Philip Rivers in our pocket for a few years. Our defense actually looked okay on Sunday. Cleveland Farrell looked decent. He had 2 strip sacks.
Yeah.
And we got got interception as well, didn't we? So defense looked okay, but we're going to miss Josh Jacobs. We're going to miss Jonathan Abram. No two ways about it. Gruden has come out and said yesterday that he doesn't expect them to play this week.
You hope it's mind games, don't you? But
I don't know if Gruden's got that in him.
What's up with Abrams? I know Jacobs' his ankle, isn't it?
Jacobs' ankle, yeah. I can't remember, to be honest.
Abrams just running out of absolute adrenaline from being an animal.
Yeah, for being a knob. I was talking to Mark. I spoke to Mark on the phone yesterday.
Who?
Sorry, I spoke to Mark. Spoke to Mark on the phone.
Mark Steele.
He rang me yesterday, and we were just sort of saying that as much as Abraham and his stats don't look particularly good, and he's pretty low down the pecking order of his position across the league, he's your hype man. He's the guy who gets everyone else fired up. He's the guy that you love to see stood next to you, lining up, suiting next to you. So, whereas his stats might not be impressive, you want him there.
It's your intangibles, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like we've said many a time. I look at it like, from again, I know we always refer to it in a soccer or footy term, but you look at Luka Modric and he hardly ever gets your goals or assists, but everything goes through him. And you think about Abrams on a defence, if you turn up and you're flat, you're flat, aren't you? He's hard to get going. Whereas you've seen Abrams in a warm up, you wouldn't even need music with him around.
No.
And that can't, you can't buy that, and it's hard to find. It's almost natural born leadership.
Yeah, I think he's got a knee injury, but I think he's a future captain.
Yeah, I was about to say who your captains.
Kwiatkowski, who to be fair has done really well, got from Bears free agency. He's the guy who wears the green dot on the defense. So I can say that he's been pretty decent. The other thing I wanted to mention as well, did you see Arnett smash Frank Gore?
Was this the two concussions?
Yeah, they sort of smashed each other. It wasn't really. It was Arnett sort of messing up his job, really. And I think it was another player who bundled into sort of one of them, bundled the other one at pace into. I can't remember which way around it was, but they both smashed heads and were down for some time. And Arnett got up first and sort of wobbled around a bit, and Frank Gore was just sat up on the floor, didn't really know where he was. So yeah, I mean, I think Arnett's probably going to miss this week through concussion as well.
Tends to be the protocol, doesn't it?
Yeah, because I think that's the second week he's collapsed dead or somebody.
Yeah.
So we've got a really, really full strength side for the 8-4 Colts at the weekend.
It's getting hard for you as well. I mean, we called the Colts one being the hard game anyway, didn't we? Out of your remaining schedule, you weren't unfortunate to get beat by the Falcons. You got dick, but we thought you were going to beat them. So it's getting to that point where I think you called it, didn't you? Like with the wild card, you would have expected maybe a 9-6 to be able to get through, but looking at it.
10-6, isn't it?
Yeah, minimum, isn't it, really?
I don't think 10-6 is going to do it. If we lose to the Colts or the Dolphins, and then win the other three, which means we have to beat the Colts or the Dolphins, and then the Chargers and the Broncos, we finish 10-6.
Yeah.
I don't think that will get us in the playoffs because we have lost a head-to-head to either the Colts or the Dolphins.
Right.
So I think 10-6 could miss out.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Whereas I think if we beat the Colts and we beat the Dolphins, we could probably afford to lose to either the Chargers or the Broncos.
Because you've got your head-to-head, yeah.
Yeah. But I don't want to lose them because they're divisional games. So,
no, of course you don't.
We could lose all 4 games. I wouldn't put it past the Raiders to lose all 4 games. I also wouldn't put it past them to win all 4 games.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But we've won as many games already than we won last year. So if we win one more, we've progressed. Slowly, but still, Gruden's far too conservative. We had the beating of the Jets. We were starting to pull away, and then some despicable decisions for me, letting the Jets back in the game.
I've dug Joe Judge out a bit on his conservative approach, and I was on Sunday. I called that there was 2 plays that I thought had potentially cost us a game, but the D held up really well on that final one, thank God, and we saw it out. But seen some analysis on it, and we're probably wrong in what I was saying. Again, it's all hindsight that actually it turned out really well, but some of the analysis was saying that they were the right conservative calls to make. Where I still stand by the ones before, even if these ones aren't. Have been conservative, but you'd expect that in a first-year head coach that he'd be quite conservative. Gruden's got years of experience.
Yeah, years out of the game as well.
Yeah, so you'd hope that naivety had sort of gone, or that worry. But and then again, me and you were just sat here then saying 10-6 ain't going to make it. Then you can sort of understand maybe that he's being conservative, thinking, shit, I don't want to risk giving points away here. It's tough. That's why we're sat here, fat as anything, drinking a beer, not getting paid to be a head coach.
That's why he's getting paid $100 million.
Yeah, exactly.
I think when we become big, we create our own team and we'll do it. We'll show them how it's done.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We'll
I'll
take
be a
over.
defensive
Throw it.
linesman.
Just throw it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Who's the fastest we got? Right, you're a wide receiver.
Yeah.
But I can't catch it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Who's the strongest we've got? Right, you're a running back.
We definitely know Gaz is a kicker because of the glasses and moustache.
Because he already is one.
Yeah. Davis, Waterboy.
It depends if we're red or not.
Absolutely.
Depends.
We just have red Gatorade every game.
It's like, you
I
know,
don't
you
know
can
where
bet
the
on
blue
that.
one is.
You can bet on the Super Bowl, can't you?
You
It's
can,
like,
can't
you?
you?
Bet
Yeah.
on the colour. What colour's gonna be the Gatorade that's thrown over the coach at the end? Red.
Oh,
That would be like fucking 1 to 500 odds because it ain't gonna be.
So yeah, we've got the Cardinals next week, which again is another tough game, and again on paper you wouldn't expect this season's Giants to be able to get a win there, but I don't know. I said before the Seahawks game that out of the two you would want Dan Jones to be fit for Cardinals because you've got a better chance to win it. I mean, our defense is probably a top 5 defense at the moment, and our running game is top 4 after the weekend. So I mean, we've got a chance. I don't want to sit here and jinx anything and stuff like that, but I mean, I've got my hoodie and flag. I think we're winning out. I think we're coming home with a ring if I keep this hoodie and flag going.
They've lost the last 3 as well, Cardinals.
Yeah, but then you look at that and the cynic in me goes, well, they need a result soon.
Well, I mean, Seahawks, Patriots, and Rams.
Yeah,
so
but
6 for 6 now, so they need something. Otherwise,
I just look at how Graham schemed against Russ, and Kyler is similar to Russ. Russ was the first scrambling quarterback, wasn't he? Really, of the sort of new era that's coming through, and Kyler is exactly the same. You flush him out of the pocket, and he's dangerous. Well, the Giants had a plan, which I thought was fantastic, and I'll tag in some videos later. But essentially, how they were scheming was making Russ flush out of the pocket, but he'd go to his left, see that Blake Martinez was just holding off a defender and not rushing him, so he was ready to capture. So would do his spin move that he does to get out and go to the other side, and Tay Crowder or Carter Coughlin was there ready to take him down, and he was really struggling. And that then really helps when we've got our secondary that just coverage is just madness. It's just crazy. I mean, DK Metcalf, I think, had a 50-yard receiving game. No touchdown, one stiff arm, well done, mate. But Bradbury's had him in his back pocket, and I think Yadam, who I've said time and time again on here, is weak. But I've also said recently he's pushing for that centre back to guaranteed slot. Just looks better and better, and I think he held Lockett to 60 yards. So I just can't sit here and go we're shit, because we're not. We are good. We are solid. We are coached well.
You can still finish with a positive season, can't you? If you win your remaining games.
Absolutely.
So.
I mean, I'm gutted that Washington beat Pittsburgh, because if they hadn't, we'd essentially have a 2-game, sort of gap, a 2-game lead. Because I'm looking at our fixtures. We've got Cardinals, Browns, Ravens, and then Cowboys.
We lost all 4.
And so we need, I'd say we need 2 out of that. So you would put Cowboys down as one.
You beat the Browns and the Cowboys.
And the Browns was the one I had. Browns and Cowboys one I put. I mean, Browns O-line's good, which is a worry. But Mayfield's had his unbelievable game, hopefully, and hopefully we get the real Baker back. But then, if we go and turn up at the cards and turn the cards over, then I think that's almost division sign and sealed. Pending sort of how Washington get on, but they've got just as tough a remaining schedule as us. They finish with the Eagles, which again is probably a win. Pending how Jalen Hurts, if Jalen Hurts starts and what he makes a difference there, because he looked okay. Okay. See that? I even get saying that.
Starting for me.
Yeah.
Wentz, whatever you call him.
He's done, isn't he?
Shit. Yeah. he was a fraud when he almost took them to the Super Bowl, and Nick Foles had to come in and do the job. Talking to Nick Foles, Mark came up with a great theory in the Raiders group chat. He said he's got the perfect quarterback situation for the Raiders. He said Derek Carr plays September, October, November, because that's when he turns it on. And then Nick Foles comes in and plays December, playoffs and Super Bowl, because that's when he turns it on. So we need to get Nick Foles in as a backup, and we'll just swap jerseys come 1st of December. Yeah.
Am I right in seeing that the Bears started Mitch this week?
Well, it would explain a few things, wouldn't it? Which we'll go on to in episode 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if we want to talk about next week for myself,
I'm looking forward to your game.
Vikings.
Yeah, I think that's going to be an attractive game.
It depends. Like, they haven't announced it yet. It's between our game and your game for Sky, I reckon.
It isn't going to be us.
Big game though, Brown. Like, who do you say?
We've got the Cardinals.
Cardinals, Giants could be. You never know.
Yeah, I think for
Vikings.
Yeah.
It's not Trubisky.
Yeah.
They did or didn't?
They did.
Yeah, I thought I saw in the highlights it was Mitch, and I was like, why? The guy's terrible. Yeah. Oh, I think Claire said. I've seen Claire. No, someone tweeted, and then Claire had retweeted it that I don't think the Bears have won a second half this season.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did they not win the second half against Bucks? Beat Bucks, didn't they, guys?
What's that?
Did the Bears beat the Bucks?
Yeah, it was the first Thursday night game that we had. You know, we don't do Thursday nights. It was an awful game. It's like 19.
You don't do Thursdays and you don't do Mondays, according to you.
We don't do nothing prime time. Just put us at 6 o'clock, we'll win. Like I said, I'm looking forward to it because, like I said, I've always rated him. I think he's my offensive rookie of the year, Justin Jefferson. I'm looking forward to seeing him.
Yeah, he is good.
I rate him so much, but it's going to be a good game, I reckon. Hopefully we'll win and keep it going, but...
You can't give offensive rookie of the year to anyone but a quarterback, apparently, so...
Justin Jefferson's got a shout, especially if the Vikings start coming up into the playoffs now. But...
I mean, Josh Jacobs should have went last year, shouldn't he? Because gets more credit, obviously. I think. Yeah,
but he didn't reach the playoffs, though, did you? Lamar did.
No, it was Kyler Murray, wasn't it?
Was it Kyler last year?
Yeah. Kyler got offensive rookie. Yeah, it was Lamar that won MVP, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I really don't know who's going to get MVP this year. I think it's now between Mahomes and the fraud, Rodgers.
There ain't no fraud about him. The second best of all time.
Because
I mean, I'm so pleased you've acknowledged the Raiders legend Kenny Stabler there as being the greatest of all time.
Peyton Manning.
Old large head.
But yeah, I think as Good Morning Britain, as I like to call them, put it, Russie's MVP campaign's dead.
No doubt now.
Giants.
It was gone before that, but yeah, I think that's
put
the final
see
nail.
How many 0 votes he gets.
It's either his MVP campaign's gone or you break his legs.
I told you, we're the quarterback killers. We've ended him.
Yeah.
Just end the episode on that.
But yeah, we'll go over the other episodes.
I think we'll go over more fixtures in episode 2. I think this week. Any particular special mentions for anybody?
Mine was Waller. A bit biased because I am a Raiders fan. You know, deep at heart, but and other than that, again, you know, if I'm talking about the Giants, I just have to keep saying it time and time again. Patrick Graham, like it's worrying. I was talking to a friend. I mentioned him in the first pod, Lee Ogden, who was the lad that sort of got me into supporting the Giants subconsciously, and it's a real worry that if this carries on, that someone takes him as sort of head coach next year, because the work he's doing is just. I don't know what you can say, but you know, we had 4 linebackers outside of Blake Martinez on Sunday, 3 of them were 7th round picks, one being Mr. Irrelevant, and one was an undrafted free agent. And we sacked Russell Wilson 5 times. You know, the work we're doing with what you would class as almost talentless people is just phenomenal. And you've seen the change in the whole team. It's not just Patrick Graham, but the coaches, the whole change. You know, Andrew Thomas hasn't given a sack away for 5 weeks. He's just growing and growing and growing. So yeah, I mean, shout out just to the Giants coaches. He's just making it so weird that, you know, I've now gone 5 weeks without a loss. I haven't done that in the whole time that I've supported the Giants. They've not been 5 weeks without a loss. 4 wins on the bounce.
Can't wait for the last 4 to just absolutely.
I don't know how I'm going to feel when we lose, but I don't know what I'm going to do.
4 losses on the bounce.
Told you, there is no other moment now you're going to be able to pop those. You've got 2 left. You ain't doing it. Not going to happen. You're losing the last 4.
I'm popping it when we smash you in our game, mate.
You got Seahawks at the minute.
When you get through but we'll get through them
again.
I'm hoping. Right, so
could you imagine?
I'll be honest. Right, I shouldn't say this because it's all going to bite me on the arse. But I text Lee, and he was talking about paying Patrick Graham. So I said, when we get to the playoffs, not if, and we win our first game, there is a good chance that we'll get the Packers, and we will beat them also, and someone will take him for head coach. So that, I've put it out on the line there. That's where I'm at.
You're going to the championship game.
If you do...
I looked last week. This winds me up, right? Because you know what I'm like with my sort of going on an out there bet with the 2 that I've got going at the moment. But I looked last week when it got announced that DJ was only out for potentially 1 game, which they've still not confirmed that he's going to be back for 2nd yet, but you would hope it's likely. And we were 50-1 for NFC East champions. And I text Davis saying, I think I'm going to put a tenner on it. And I didn't. And now at the moment, the odds aren't on Sky Bet because there's still an NFC East game to play, yeah. But after tonight, I'll get to see what sort of the odds are on what my current bets that are outstanding and what they are. But I'm just...
Washington are still favourites, I think.
Washington can't be favourites for our division because we're top. We've got a sweep on them.
They looked last week. Last week, they were still favourites for it.
Last week...
They were odds on, and you were like, just off evens. It was close, but they were favourites.
On Sky Bet, we were favourites. Because that's what I keep checking, because that's where I've got the bet on. We were 2-1, and they were 5-2. So it was like by a half. But I don't know. I don't know. It's just Joe Judge. He's making Giants fans fucking believe for once.
Make us believe.
We're just enjoying the ride because this is something we've not seen.
You're having like the best month in your life. Tottenham top of the league, Giants on top of the division.
I mean, this week Spurs beat Arsenal and we went and beat the Seahawks. I mean, what more could you ask for on a Sunday? It was just brilliant.
Armenian kebabs.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable. But I was at my brother-in-law's before, just scrolling through Twitter, and I've sort of liked something to watch after. But there's a video of OBJ's come out, and he's gone to town on the Giants and Pat Shermer about, you know, how they outcast him and how they fucked everything up, and it was all the wrong decisions made, and apparently now it's a clear contrast to sort of what they're doing now. So I'm looking forward to watching that because, you know, I've said it all along, I know about Pat Shermer and what we did there, but yeah, he was saying that the culture they were trying to create. So apparently the young guys, from what I saw in the sort of comments, apparently the young guys were not allowed to get involved with any of the senior players and stuff like that, which I find really weird. So I'm interested to see what it's like, but it's just different now. So yeah, I think the Giants fans are just enjoying the ride. You know, everyone is jokingly saying we're going to smash whoever gets in front of us. I follow a guy called Bobby Scrimmer. I think I've mentioned him on Twitter. And I think they've got a Talking Giants podcast, and every week he tweets out we're going to win 77. And it's just, you know, that's sort of where the Giants fans are at now from, you know, a few years of misery. So now I'm actually thinking, well, sod it. What have we got to lose? If we don't win the division, then we still get half decent draft pick and we carry on building. If we do win the division, happy days. We've progressed more than ever, and we're back seeing some football in December that counts and potentially an off-season game. It's great. It's brilliant.
I'm hoping, like I said, the dream is all three of our teams to reach the playoffs, isn't it?
It'd be brilliant, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And could you imagine, say, if all three of us reach the conference final game as well, and one of our teams faces the other in the
Raiders
Super Bowl,
Giants Super Bowl.
Could you imagine the scenes? It's not going to happen.
No.
I mean, no, it's not. And that's the Raiders that aren't getting there. But yeah, no, I've ranted enough about Raiders. My special mention would have, while I was considered, I was going to go all out Raiders this week just because I'm depressed about things, so I wanted to bring some positivity to the podcast from a Las Vegas point of view. It would have been either Waller, it would have been potentially Carr for the throw, but I decided on going for Ruggs because he dropped a catch earlier in the game, which led to an interception. I've been getting a bit of stick on socials for it. I was going to go Revan Ruggs just because I was looking at a statistic because people comparing to like CD Lamb and Jerry Jeudy and stuff, and they've got more yards, but if you go on yards per target, Ruggs is ahead of both of them. So he's not been targeted as much as the other two. But I like Ruggs. I think he's going to be good. He completely sold that shit coming back.
Yeah, that double move was nice.
Yeah,
I think Mark mentioned something that he doesn't feel he's trusted yet, does he?
Yeah, I think I said that.
To be targeted as much.
Which I kind of get. He's a rookie, so we're going to have him for at least 5 years. He's got the speed. He can clearly catch. Maybe he's just got to learn Gruden's playbook a little bit more. Learn the sort of, I'm not going to say route, learn the routes he wants him to run.
Yeah.
What does that mean, that route? It's a route.
I know, yeah. You do end up saying it though, don't you?
I know.
Got that route. My special mention would be Josh Allen. 4 touchdowns, why not? Anyone who throws 4 touchdowns gets a special mention for me. Who throws 4 touchdowns usually? If they get 5, they get the big high five. But, 4 touchdowns. And like I said, against the 49ers as well. Josh Allen, I know it was last night, so I only really watched it this morning, but solid game. Can't complain.
JP will be happy with that anyway, because they only gave away 35 first downs. Sorry, JP.
I don't think he's mentioned it, has he?
No, I don't think he has, to be fair. You do need to understand what went on there.
Yeah. I think that sort of wraps this part nice. The usual, if you want to get in the group chat in WhatsApp, get out one of us and we'll stick you in it. You'll see me having full-on meltdowns every week and storming out at various different times. Then someone put me back in. When Gaz did first went back in, I thought he was doing it for a while. I was going to text him saying, I am not in the mood tonight.
And all of a sudden,
yeah, I was in such a foul mood. I think we touched on it in the group and probably on a previous episode at least, that it impacts me too much. I get too wrapped up in NFL and Raiders, and that my dummy goes big time. And I should be used to it because I've had my whole Raiders following life in mediocrity. In the one season we were really good. Carl broke his leg on Christmas Eve and just blew out of the playoffs. But
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, literally. I'm still getting mad thinking about that now. I should be used to it, but I'm not, because the NFL builds you up to have a little bit of hope. It does. And you think, you know what, we're playing all right. We've outscored the Chiefs over 2 games, the best team in the NFL, our divisional rivals. We beat them once, we lost the other one. Things are looking good. Oh no, we let in 44 points against the fucking Atlanta Falcons. And then we should have lost to the 0-11 Jets. So, yeah, I just get too wrapped up in it. It really so the group chat does keep me going. It does, when you see other people having meltdowns as well, it makes me feel a little bit better. With JP in the 35 this morning.
Yeah, before he does start breaking down, though, if you do want to follow us, it's Third and Short Pod on Twitter and Instagram and on TikTok, if that's still going. We don't know.
Not had any good clips to put on yet. We need something funny. We need Matt to show his dong again or something like that. And put that on.
Because the Raiders have lost the last couple of games, that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a really good competition going out on Twitter at the moment. Definitely get at us on Twitter at Third Short Pod.
Yeah.
We had Claire on last week to talk about it. It's live at the moment. We don't actually know what the prize is, so one of us three could win it because I imagine we'll win the draw. It's a mystery signed jersey. It is.
Can we actually win it? I didn't enter it on my personal account. I thought
Get
that's a bit rigged, that, isn't it, if I win it?
I follow Claire. I follow Third Short Pod, and I've retweeted it. So I'll be in the draw.
I'm in.
I think there's probably around about 300.
So don't enter it. We've already won.
But it was a nice little touch from Claire to sort of have a little connection to a lot of the ones she picked between, and we don't know which one she has been picked. So it'll be, I think it's drawn Friday night, is it, or Saturday morning?
I think, one of,
Friday night, I think it is. So this episode should go out Wednesday. You've got a couple of days to follow at Claire DeBear85 at Third Short Pod and retweet Claire's pinned tweet, and that will get you an entry into the competition.
Yeah,
brilliant.
So we'll see you in episode 2.
We will.